everyone and welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we are going to learn how to add webinar participants from Google Sheets to Salesforce CRM. So I am a business coach and I have conducted a webinar. I receive registrations offline in my office as well, for which I create the record of all the participant details in my Google Sheets and I maintain the details of all the registrants in my Salesforce account. Over here, I receive multiple offline applications and I have data of multiple registrants. Now, entering all of them into my Salesforce account manually is a very time-consuming process. So, to solve this process, I have created a connection between Google Sheets and Salesforce without need of any coding and programming skills using Pabbly Connect. Now, whenever I'm going to add the data of the new registrant in my Google Sheets, automatically that registrant is going to be created as a lead in my Salesforce account. So, now if you want to learn the entire process step by step, I'm going to take you towards my screen.
Welcome to my screen. So as I'm a business coach, I use Google Sheets to manually add and track the details of participants who register or attend my webinars. And I use Salesforce CRM to manage leads and nurture them through personalized follow-ups and sales pipeline. To streamline my workflow, I have automated the process that whenever a new participant registers and I add their data in Google Sheets, automatically that participant is going to be created as a lead in my Salesforce CRM account. And I'm going to create this amazing automation between these two applications using Pabbly Connect. For that, in a new tab, I'm going to browse the website of Pabbly Connect, that is www.pabbly.com/connect. After browsing the website, Pabbly Connect's landing page is going to appear in front of you, where you will find two options, that is sign in or sign up for free. If you're an existing user, you can directly sign into your Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. I'm an existing user, so I'm going to directly sign into my Pabbly Connect account. Then you will find the All Pabbly Apps section in which you can see all the applications that Pabbly provides, from which I'm going to use Pabbly Connect. For that, I'm going to click on this Access Now button right over here. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. Before creating this amazing automation, I want to tell you about Pabbly Community. Pabbly Community is an exclusive space where you can find real-time updates, help from not just our team members but also the fellow users. Over here you can share tips, also share feedbacks and ask questions. So go ahead and join our Pabbly community today. For that, you will find the link of our community in the description box below. Now let us get started by creating this automation. For that, we have to add a new workflow in our Pabbly Connect account. For that, click on this Create Workflow button. You will find two methods for creating the workflow. One is the new beta method that is newly released. Other one is the old classic method. I am going to select the new beta method to create the workflow. Firstly, we have to rename the workflow. So for the name of my workflow, I'm going to give it as Add Webinar Participants from Google Sheets to Salesforce CRM. Okay, and then you can see it is asking for us to select a folder. These are the folders from which I'm going to select the workflows folder. And then I'm going to click on this Create button right over here. As I'm going to do that, you can see a new workflow has been created. And firstly, we have to set up our trigger step. We have to select our trigger application. In Pabbly Connect workflow, there are only two major steps, that is trigger and action. Trigger gives the commands and action follows them. That is why there is only one trigger step but multiple action steps. For the trigger application in this workflow, I'm going to select over here as Google Sheets. As whenever in the Google Sheets, I'm going to add the data of the participant details right here. I want this trigger should capture the response of that. That is why for my trigger application, I've selected over here as Google Sheets and the trigger event is going to be new or updated spreadsheet row. And then I'm going to click on this Connect button. Over here you can see Pabbly Connect has provided us with a webhook URL. Using the unique webhook URL and by following the steps given here below in the help desk, we are going to build a connection between Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to copy this URL from here and log into my Google Sheets that I want to connect. To connect this spreadsheet, from the panel, go to Extensions option, Add-ons and Get Add-ons option right over here. Then you will find this window on which on the search bar, I'm going to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks. Okay. And I'm going to select Pabbly Connect webhooks from here. You can see that I've already installed Pabbly Connect webhooks, so I'm going to move forward. But if you have not installed Pabbly Connect webhooks, please to install it so that using this webhook, you can build a connection between Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect. After installing, go back and refresh the spreadsheet from here. After refreshing the spreadsheet, if I'm going to go back to extensions, now you can see this option that is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. I'm going to select it, and from the drop down, I'm going to select the option that is Initial Setup right over here. Then Initial Setup dialog box is going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the webhook URL and the trigger column. For the webhook URL, I'm going to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us. And for the trigger column, it says the trigger column will be your final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that raw data will be sent to the webhook URL. In the spreadsheet, my trigger column is going to be column D because in this column, the phone number of my participant is going to be added. And as soon as the data in this column is going to be added, the entire row's data is going to be forwarded towards this webhook URL. So for my trigger column, I'm going to write over here as column D, and then I'm going to click on this submit button. As I've done that, I have received a response that says setup configured successfully. So now I'm going to go back right over here. The steps that I'm going to tell you right now is super important. So please do not forget to follow them. Go back to extensions and Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Now from the drop down, select the option that is send on event. It is mandatory to click on send on event because as soon as you get to enter the data in your Google Sheets right over here, this spreadsheet is going to collect that new data and send it towards Pabbly Connect URL again and again. That is why it is very important to select send on event from the drop down. Okay. This is how you build a connection between Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect. So if I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down, it says waiting for webhook response. So now to check whether the spreadsheet is successfully connected to Pabbly Connect or not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the data of the new participant details in the spreadsheet, and then I'm going to check whether trigger captures the response of the data or not. Okay. For the first name over here, I'm going to write it as demo. For the last name over here, I'm going to write over here as new34. For the email over here, I'm going to write it as demonew334@pabblytudes.com. And for the phone number over here, I'm going to enter a dummy mobile number. After adding in all the details, I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down right over here. And you can see the response has been captured in my trigger. You can see the first name is demo, last name is new34, email is demonew334@pabblytudes.com with this dummy mobile number. So as now the response has been captured in my trigger, this means that Google Sheets is connected to Pabbly Connect and our trigger setup is now been done. After setting up our trigger step, as now I want to add this lead into my Salesforce account, we have to set up our action step. For that, I'm going to add the step from here. And for the action application, I'm going to select over here as Salesforce. And for the action event, I'm going to select over here as create record, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. Then this window is going to appear on which click on add new connection. Click on this connect with Salesforce button right over here. Then it is asking for the permission for my account, for which I'm going to click on this allow button as this is a safe process and my data is perfectly safe with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to click on this allow button right over here. And as I'm going to do that, automatically Salesforce is going to be connected with Pabbly Connect. After connecting, as we want to create this participant as our lead in our Salesforce account. So for the Salesforce objective, I'm going to select over here as lead. Okay. Then it is asking for the data of all the leads details, like the first name, last name, and all the details. So now for the data of these fields, I'm going to map the data. Mapping is inserting data from the previous step. So I'm going to insert the data from the previous step from my workflow. How it works is that as soon as I'm going to click on this field, the previous step is going to appear in front of you. As I'm going to click on it, the response that is captured in our previous step is going to appear. I'm going to search for the last name right over here because it is asking for the lead's last name. This is the participant last name, and as I want to create this participant as a lead, I'm going to select the data of the last name of my lead from my previous response. As now I've selected the data from my previous response, this data has now been mapped. And as I've mapped this data, the data has now become dynamic. That means now whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. In the similar manner, I'm going to map the data of the first name of my lead from here, okay? Then it is asking for the salutation, which I do not have, so I'm going to skip the part. For the title over here, I'm going to write the title as new registration created as the title. There is no company, so for the company over here, I'm going to write it as none, okay? Then it is asking for the address, which I do not have, so I'm going to simply skip the part. For the phone number, I'm going to map the data of the phone number of my lead right over here. This is the phone number. I'm going to map the data. Then it is asking for the email address. For the email address, I'm going to map the data of the email address right over here. Then it is asking for the description, which I do not have, so I'm going to skip the part. It is asking for the lead source. For the lead source over here, I'm going to select it as other right here. For the status over here, I'm going to select it as open, not contacted. For the rating, I'm going to select over here as hot. I do not have all the other fields, so I'm going to skip the part, okay? If I'm going to scroll down, it is asking for the email again. So for which I'm going to map the data of the email again right over here. And then it is asking for the phone number as well. So I'm going to map the data of the phone number as well right here. Now I do not require all the other fields, so I'm going to skip the part and simply click on this Save and Send Test Request button. As I'm going to do that, I have received a response in which I've received the ID, which is a positive response. So if I'm going to open my Salesforce account and lead section from here, you can see in the recent item, this new lead has been added in my Salesforce account in the name of demo new 34. Okay. If I'm going to scroll down, you can see this was the mobile number. Email is demo new 334@pabblytudes.com. Rating is hot. Title is new registration created. Company is none. You can see right over here. This is the same email address and the phone number with all the other details. So as you can see right over here, automatically a new lead has been added in my Salesforce account. So this is how you build a connection between Google Sheets and Salesforce using Pabbly Connect. So now to sum till now what we have done in my Google Sheets, I maintain the record of the registrations of the participants who are taking part in my webinar, and those registrations are made offline. Okay. I add the data of all those participants in my Google Sheets, and as I've added the data, Google Sheets new or updated spreadsheet row captures the response of the participants' details. Using the detail, automatically a lead is going to be created in my Salesforce account using Salesforce Create Record. And in this manner, I've built a connection between these two applications without need of any coding and programming skills using Pabbly Connect. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.
Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple applications using Pabbly Connect. If you have any doubts, you can send us email on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can ask us queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button down there.